Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Pro Trade Room Plus, the oil open and the U.S. market open. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember all the trades we discuss for educational purposes. Okay, how's everybody doing this morning? So, Francis, let's take a look real quickly. If you normally, when you don't know an instrument, but you know the prefix, you can start typing that instrument on the chart. So for CL, just type the first two letters and then go look for the future down in the list. Double click it. 99 times out of 100, that will put the correct contract on the chart. Okay? However, it's always a good idea to also check volume. So that's why we created a little market analyzer window that shows three columns: the instrument, the daily volume, and the days until rollover. So we'll right click that and add the current CL, or what we believe to be the current CL, and it tells us we are 3 days until rollover. So Francis, we're still on 12. All right. If you put 1 January up, and I've added January to my system, I think CL 126. I swear I did. And it's not there. I would bet my life on it. That's how sure I am that I did it. So I'm going to go to Tools, Instrument Lists, Futures folder, add CL space 01-26. I didn't. MCL space 01-26. NG space 01 natural gas. Oh, you know what? I did it on my other computer. That's why. Okay, so I've added. I'll go back to the market analyzer. The way you create this little template, the market analyzer, when you right click it, you go to columns and you turn off and on the columns. That's how you create this template that we created, okay? So I have instrument, daily volume, and days until rollover on it, thanks to member Brian, who thought of this and showed me how to do it years ago when we were young. So I'm going to look at current CL, the next CL, which is 126, and the volume is mixed, which is not my favorite way to trade, breakouts in particular. There's plenty of volume on both instruments. Stay with 12 because that's the proper instrument to trade. And if you have some of the prop accounts won't allow you to trade the future instrument anyway. All right. Okay, let's get into CL. We have a special new setup that we've been testing. What the heck is that? Oh, I see. Calvin, that's very funny. That's very funny. I'm starting to watch a little bit the Bitcoin micro futures. It looks like there's pretty good liquidity. Let's take a fast look. Market analyzer, MBT 1125 appears to be the current instrument. 64,000 daily volume so far today. Very manageable. All right, oil, CL 1225. We have a new setup. But before we get to the new setup, let's put our reverse continue on both charts. Right-click the chart, click Strategy. Double-click News Trader. Reverse continue. Breakout becomes reverse continue. One contract on full-size oil. We'll use a target of 25 ticks. We'll use a stop of 25 ticks. That's all you need to set up a reversal continue. You do want to label it reverse CL continue, and we'll put it on market number 23 at the moment, account number 23. Apply it, okay it, turn it on, click the enabled button, make sure your chart trader is on number 23. Okay? I did a tiny scalp this morning for 25 bucks. Not on oil. Symbol, what's Ethereum. Thanks for that, Calvin. I'm very interested in that also. Micro Ethereum is MET. What would I do without you smart people? In all seriousness, trading is a village. Anyway, let's get to our right click on the MCL 1225 chart, and we'll add a reverse continue on that chart. And we'll put a couple of contracts, one position. We'll do the same thing. Target of 25. Don't forget, the number of contracts is up to you. You don't even, on reverse continuations, you don't even have to use my exact settings. I say this over and over. What's the point of a reversal continuation? What's the point of it? The point of it is to have an opportunity on your chart to get into a trade if the moment arises. What is going on with oil? My Lord. These markets are really nuts. They're hard to trade. Interestingly, this was nothing to speak of in terms of a trading week. But we did not have a lot of big losers either. This was a week where people probably made pretty normal market open profits and losses. Not a lot of great breakouts, trap trades. It was a weird week, but no big losses either. So it was not a terrible trading week. It was just mostly uneventful. Now, we do have 2 extra reports today. WASDE. We can expect abnormal reactions to this news. Or let me put it a better way. Not abnormal, but we can't use our testing like we would. We can't put our faith in our testing as strongly as we would if the shutdown hadn't occurred. We have to take everything now with a grain of salt until we see how these reports start trading. So trade with manageable risk would be my recommendation on all the reports that are starting to trade. I don't trade BTC Meadow Bear. I'm trading MBT. CJ, I haven't looked at BTC yet, so I don't know if I have that data automatically or not. We can check after the open. Anybody wants to chime in? What are the fees, Calvin? What are the fees? They're not normal futures fees. They're much higher. Okay, some people are not hearing me. Okay. Log. It's funny. You sit here, I sit here, and I go, log in and out if you have sound problems. You're not going to hear me if you have sound problems. And that's good too. Refresh your browser. That's probably better. All right, so let's set up our special oil range trade. It's been pretty decent. We've been hitting our first target. We haven't had bad results with this new setup, so we're going to keep working on it, see how it goes. News Trader, I'm really excited. I sent the final updates to the magnet, all the new requests to the programmer. I'll have the final beta, the first full beta over the weekend, and then I can start testing like a lunatic next week. And we're going to make, my goal is Black Friday to release Magnet 2.0. And all pro members get the software as part of their membership. So it's important. We're not charging extra. Going to the range trade. Range start time, 8:59. As long as you're a pro member, we include the software in the pro membership. One tick above, one tick below. Show the range graphics on chart. End the range at 9:0040. I'm going to trade two positions. Target 1 is a 10. Target 2 is a 22. Our stop is 15. And should it hit the first target, I will move my target 1 stop move to BE minus 8 though. BE minus 8. I think the magnet, if you're not learning how to do the magnet, you're making a big mistake. Look at the problems everybody has with data feeds on breakouts. As much as breakouts are always my first choice, we have to look at the reality of what happens with data feeds. Sometimes a breakout should be avoided. So I think, wait till you see the features I'm adding, that we added. I think everyone's going to be really excited, really going to be happy. Going to really like the new setup. I'm going to give away a bunch of it at the Saturday webinar, Traders Corner. So one more time on this setup. It's a range trade. We're starting the range at 8:59. One tick above the range, one tick below the range. Show the range graphics on chart. End the range 9:0040. We will wait 3 minutes for a fill. If we don't get a fill, approximately 3 minutes, we cancel. Position 1 is up to you. Position 2 is up to you. Position 3 is up to you. First target, I'm doing two positions, 10 and 22 on my targets, 15 on my stop. Target 1 stop move, I'm just barely moving it to safety with a BE minus 8. Label it CL range. And you know I don't have to tell you. You don't have to label your trades exactly the way I label them. I think everybody understands that there are certain things that should be followed, stops, brackets generally, and certain things that have more flexibility, targets. Stop management, trade management is not something that everybody does the same way. I think 30 stop is fine for MCL, Ross. I think with micros, you can almost never have too big of a stop, and that the idea is shrink the stop once you get into a winning trade. Anyway, so you know that the reality is only new traders believe that smaller stops reduce your risk. Smart, experienced traders know that bigger stops reduce your risk. most of the time. Nothing is always, nothing is never. Hmm. Now, I'm not seeing the range being fixed. How does everybody feel about those graphics? Do they like it or dislike it compared to the way it used to be? It's really not terrible. I just find it not as clear. See, I feel more comfortable when it goes to the margin. I like it going to the margin. The reason we messed with it is because the range never stopped calculating. And it needs to stop calculating when the time of entry is over so we can analyze a range. You want to always be able to analyze a previous range also. So there was a bug that I never realized all these years. Now I'm going to let this trade. I'm going to let it do what it's going to do. So the Walmart CEO stepped down, which is a little bit strange. He's pretty young. It's a quiet, even though oil is up quite a bit, it's so quiet. I don't like these quiet markets. I'm not sure that, I mean, I believe we're on the wrong side of this trade. I may exit this trade early. Gold was crazy at the gold open, and I think it moved 87 ticks long, but the correct move was short. 87 ticks. Oh man. This is the second time this week because we were at, we're not even near the high, but when oil is up $1, that's a lot. That's a lot. So it's not following through to the upside at all. Yeah, this is not going to work this morning. I guess I'll let it trade, but I don't have any faith in our setup this morning. I'm not blown away by our setup, to be honest. It's it's been okay. I wouldn't say it's been gangbusters this week. The testing has been a lot better than the testing has been a lot better. I would probably not trade it, Francis. The market's pretty quiet. I would probably just let it go. 3 minutes is the amount of time that we normally allow it to fill. I'm really hungry this morning. I was up all night talking. Our programmer's in another country. He's on a completely different time zone. And we were talking back and forth. I just couldn't sleep. I could not sleep. That's the rules, Roz. So that's fine. Those are the rules. Now, the one good thing is, we researched the stop. We survived so far with our stop. So that's a good thing. All right? That's a good thing. Our stop survived so far. And now maybe oil's going back to the trend of the day. Oil's under 60. So it may want to get to 60. If it hits my first target, which it did, I'm moving my stop to safety. And now I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens. I mean, that's silly. I care. But I can't lose money unless something so crazy took place. Okay, we can get rid of our MCL, and this is why we label them so I don't accidentally cancel my oil trade, right? So I can get rid of my CL though, MCL, because I'm done trading oil except for the trade, the main trade, okay? Now I will trail very carefully and slowly. I'll put my right chart on the YM because that's what that chart always is. The YM is coming up off the low. Aftershock reversal squeeze would have been a huge winner this morning. This is the aftershock reversal squeeze in this area. That's all I'm going to say for now. If you want to learn about the aftershock reversal, you got to come to Trader's Corner. Here's the link. So I do like the name Aftershock Reversal. It's actually Aftershock Reversal Squeeze. ARS is what we're going to call it. I hope everybody likes that name. Trying to have some fun with this stuff, you know? Life's too damn short. Okay, still in this oil trade. Probably going to take me out right about now. If it goes up a little more, I'm going to make about, right now I'm making about 180 bucks. I'd love to make 200. I'd love to make 200. Time flies, Francis, when we're having so much fun. Now, don't forget, We've got WASD at noon, trade room at 11:30. Unexpected report for today. Natural gas, 10:30, completely unexpected. I don't know if I remember. I remember oil being released on a Friday. I don't recall natural gas ever being released on a Friday. That just doesn't ring a bell. That's a strange one. Natural gas on a Friday. And there was no advance warning. All right, made $195. Turn off your CL range. Turn off all your setups. Remove them. Right click. Remove. Right click. Remove. Okay, look, that looked like a failed setup. So I started moaning and groaning. Now I'm feeling better about the strategy. Uh, that worked very, very nicely this morning. What always, just like every other trader, I'm just a normal person and I do the same silly things everybody does. I react too quickly. I overreact. I react to the most recent event that took place rather than giving time, doing a better analysis. I'm guilty of all those things that everybody does. Maybe because I've been doing this so long, I catch myself a little better than the average person, better than the average bear, hey yogi. But you know what I mean. So of course, now nothing in the world makes you feel better. I don't think anything makes you feel better than a winning trade, than anything, anything, except maybe one or two things in life. But nothing makes you feel better than a winning trade. It's an amazing thing. And it's why so many people fail because you're chasing that high. It's like an incredible drug. No joke. All right. But we started where it looked like for sure we were getting stopped, and I was almost going to exit the trade early and want to go short. But what do you have to remember? The most important thing you have to remember, especially when we're testing a new setup, don't trade the new setup that we're testing. Test it. Leave it alone. You have to leave it alone. Pretty much let it run its course. We need to test the stop. And our stop is 15 because over and over and over again, when we looked at dates, that stop was big enough. And today, the proof was in the pudding. It was perfect. Now, I'm guilty all week of over managing the trade. That I'm guilty of, which I do way too often as a general mismanagement. I'm a general trade mismanager. And you want to understand that about me, and that's why you don't always want to follow everything that I do. And that's why, if you're members of other rooms, every moderator is going to have things they do that aren't great. No one trades perfectly. My biggest failures are impatience and too conservative on my stop management. Those I consider failures that I'm always working on. And the most important thing, and we'll get into the setup, another very important thing, obviously, the psychology of all of this is just as important as the tools that we use, because the psychology is probably even more important than anything. The psychology will destroy you or make you a great trader. And one of the most important things in your psychology, if not the most important thing, is to forgive yourself. Forgive your errors, forgive your impetuousness immediately. Immediately. Don't torture yourself. Forgive yourself if you do something wrong or foolish. And just make a pact with yourself that you won't do it again. And you will, and then forgive yourself again. And that's very, very psychologically important. All right, what are we going to do today? The markets are a little bit weird. They're quieter than I would think. They're very negative again this morning. There's a lot of Epstein stuff that very, very upsetting. Very, very, very upsetting stuff. I think that's weighing on the markets. I think no tariff, here's a tariff, there's a tariff, tariffs are gone, tariffs are back. It's not a great way to create stability in markets. Um, Chips being allowed to be exported by Nvidia, that's an issue. There's a lot of issues. Walmart CEO quits. That's a pretty big issue. That was a big surprise. Um, so there's a lot of things these markets are dealing with, and they've been making lots of new highs over and over and over and over. Let me stream this. Let me just throw our stream on, and then we'll get into our setup. So 2 extra rooms this morning. Natural gas at 10. I really, really should have done it at 10:15, but did it at 10. WASD 11:30. All right, we're going to stream this. So this is how long it takes to set up a stream. I just started setting it up as I'm talking to you. And I'm now streaming. It's very easy to set up. I'm still having that problem. I need to use a little bit of Chat GPT to figure out why my chat does not allow for me to type into it. I don't know why. Probably if I just uninstall my OBS and reinstall it and then reset everything up, which is probably about 20 minutes of energy, that'll solve it. I'm sure I corrupted something or chose some crazy settings somewhere. Okay. Anyway, we are streaming on YouTube. So we have an MNQ or NQ. I'm tempted to trade a little NQ today. I'm tempted to trade a little silver today. But I'm going to finish the week normal. All right. Trading what I normally do. I'm going to do a magnet on the YM. Set up your reverse continue. Okay. YM chart gets a reverse continue. We put it on every chart, especially at the open. Couple of positions, couple of contracts, one position, target 40 ticks, 35 stop. That's a scalp. And this is YM in my 23. All right, I'm labeling it YM reverse continue. Then I'm putting on a magnet for the YM. I want to just trade to the low. It's pretty far. It's pretty far, but that's what I'm doing. We're far from all the levels this morning. The VWAP is a mile away. All right. Even the low of the day is 80, more than 80 ticks away. And if you're not sure that your calculation's right, just go to the pencil, go to the ruler, go to the current price, and we're 87 ticks away. All right. We could easily get there on a market open. Strategy, magnet, high of day, low of day, leave everything default, make your proximity a 3 or 3, and I'll just trade. I'm going to be conservative today. One position, 35 tick stop. All right. That's my setup. Very simple. Label it YM magnet. apply it, okay it. When you turn it on, you get your heavy orders, right? You get them up at the top, so you might as well manage your top. Now, I can do the top for a VWAP test if I want to. Remembering right now that our target will be near the high of day. So if you do that VWAP test, going up to the VWAP by moving your order all the way down, which you can do, just remember the target is going to be all the way up because it automatically puts the target 3 ticks away. We could make the target negative 100 and that would bring it way down. That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. How many ticks away are we from our order entry? Let's make it easy this morning. We'll make our entry at 50. All right. We're very, very close. 1 tick away. We're at 50. Our target is like 97 ticks away. No, I'm wrong. Sorry. 288 ticks away. Wow. 47,350. Yeah, 47,644. That's right. So if we make our target, and this is what we're not going to have to do with the new version. If we make our target, because this is stupid. It's not stupid, it's too complicated. If we make our target minus 200, we'll be able to manage it better. We can make it minus 250, and then it'll be 30 ticks away from our entry. Okay, so I'm going to make it 200. Negative 200. Let's see if we get this right. All right, what's the worst that happens? I lose some money in a prop account. My life will not end. Okay, life will not end. Put our orders back on. We're ordering, right? We're entering for a VWAP test. Okay. And then on the downside, I'm pretty much just looking for a normal downside magnet. If you go into the entry button, you can see what your sell is. 178 is my sell. Okay. 178 is my sell. And it is correct. And my target would be 47,154, 3 ticks away from the low. Okay? Does everybody understand what I've done? And I'm putting it in auto mode. MNQ, all right? I'm going to trade MNQ to finish out the week. Next week, I'm going to go for NQ and I think maybe micro silver. Maybe micro silver. I really want to trade silver. It just looks like people are having too much fun trading silver. So MNQ 1225. We have our breakout. Right click the chart. Let's put our reverse continue on the chart. First things first, reverse continue. And we'll do a 50 tick target and a 75 tick stop. All right. That's our reverse continue. And the MNQ I trade in my market open account. That still is surviving. It's a funded account that I have not killed yet. I did a lot of damage to it. It happens. MNQ reverse continue. I have not made intelligent scalping decisions all week. I've made some very bad trading decisions, and I have to take responsibility for it. All right, reverse continue. I've got X number of contracts, 50 target, 75 stop. Nothing very complicated about it. Apply it, label it, turn it on. And then we have our bracket, breakout, spike, market open trade. Click News Trader, breakout trade. I have a template. You should have a template. Every trade you take, save a template so you can load it in, date it so you know how you traded the day before or the week before if you haven't been here for a week. Be organized. Keep a journal. I have a journal that someone gave to me. I don't remember who gave it to me. I want to give it to everyone, but I wanted to ask permission. I can't remember for the life of me who gave it to us. I'm going to rename my, not my end of day. So that's wrong. We got to go MNQ open. MNQ open. I should have a nice label. Whoops. My mistake. My mistake. Look, I'm letting that YM fill if it fills early. We see plenty of times good movement. I got to reload my breakout trade. I tried to load a old template that's not compatible. The YM, like I said, I will let it fill. So let's see. I'm looking for MNQ open. I'm slow this morning, folks. MNQ open. Let's find it. 11:13. We're going to redate it, rename it. Today's the 14th. And when you load it, it resaves it. It's a breakout trade. Triggers at 9:29.59. Choose the number of positions and contracts you want to trade. Our target 1 is 25. Target 2, I'm using 60. And I will go to break even minus 10 if it hits my first target. I have a 100 tick stop at the moment. We need to leave our charts on sim, quickly put the time on 0. Going to check our bracket. Put the chart on sim so you don't accidentally put yourself in a trade early like yesterday when we were testing, or it might have been the day before, we were looking at Cisco or I forgot, Disney, whatever it was. I forget which we were checking. Oh no, it was the bond auction with the YM. We couldn't get our orders on. It wasn't safe to trade the YM. It was too volatile. That's another thing that checking the bracket does. It checks the width to see if the trade can be managed properly, but also you can see if the market is too volatile to trade that setup, that bracket. If you're getting constantly filled really fast, you have to be careful about your bracket. You have to also think about, is it just the time that you're checking? 9:29.59, bracket of 35, targets of 25 and 60, stop of 100, go back to choosing the right account and make sure you go back to putting the time on, 9:29.59. Choose the right account, label your trade, breakout market open, and then get your chart trader on that account. Turn it on, and then also we want to make sure our account is correct for the YM. I know it is, so we're ready to go. And then we will, I guess we'll probably take a short break. Natural gas, 10 o'clock start to that trade room. So one of the things that happens at the market open is you get these orders, market on open imbalance. And traders do look at some of that info, and that it's like the market on close orders at 1550 in the afternoon. That's one of the reasons we get that move at 1550, right? These events take place that can trigger market movements. So some of you have been following my adventures. Well, let's talk about it in a minute. Of a car buying and a phone buying. Looks like our YM. Oh, very nice. Uh, YM, it was so fast it filled pretty much flat. Did you notice that? It was a winning trade, but it was a little bit of herky jerkiness at the time of the trade that it did fill flat. It was a winner, but it didn't give you the ticks. It wasn't big enough. Wasn't enough movement. Probably should have gone for a slightly bigger target. Now the NQ was an immediate winner. MNQ, immediate winner, $100 profit, 97.50. Is it going to test the low? What's interesting is that was a trade to the upside. It was a trade to the upside. I've done such bad scalping this week that I'm going to leave my scalping alone this morning. I'm not scalping. Even though I think we have a magnet taking place here for the MNQ. YM looks lower also. Just throwing a quick magnet on the MNQ. Our YM magnet's over. Couple of positions on the MNQ. A 70 stop. And I think I would do it in number 23. Not my open account this morning. The open's over for me. The open is over. This is an extra, totally different extra trade. And I would let it trade. If it feels short, I'm letting it trade. Now, I think I'm in the wrong account. Bingo. Another winner. I just was looking at the wrong account. I apologize. So that was a winner. Magnet tested the low. Immediate winning magnet. Okay. 180. That was 80 bucks micros. That was 80 bucks in a second. Hey Doc, I just realized you're here, so I hope you're still here. I wanted to say hello. Wanted to say hello. Mr. Nitton, let me download your file. I'll use it at my webinar. Anybody who had a winning trade, send me your screenshot. I want to show people in our webinars that members are making some money. Members are making some money. All right? At the open. At the open. And I love showing it. And I don't mind showing losing trades. I'm not afraid to show a trade that didn't work. Everything doesn't work. And if you notice, I say it in my videos all the time. I'm not trying to lie to get people to join. All we have to do is tell the truth. For fun, let's take a look at Bitcoin, the micro Bitcoin. Calvin, you never, Okay, you should all hear me again. I closed the room, I'm sorry, by accident. I was just saying, Calvin, I was going to look at micro Bitcoin. What are those fees? What are those fees? Thank you, Francis. Francis, that's one of those that's not worth trading, right? The fees are killing you. So, Francis, I would recommend trade. I don't know. What's the answer? Trade 4 contracts on the open? Is that the answer? I don't want to say trade NQ and then watch as you lose some money. I don't want to take that responsibility. But $15, it's not going to give you a profit. That's the problem. There's no profit there. And you've got winning setups, so it's just a question of trade management to make them worthwhile, right? So let's do a quick brief. Let me put on. Let me put on the micro Bitcoin. So look, I'm getting. I'm really mismanaging our YM trades. If we're honest about it, we got to be honest about it. Yeah, I'm making money, but I could be making triple the money by doing better trade management. What I need to do, and it's not complicated. One of the things that should be done is to just use the second position more often in our trades. So, especially on the opens, as we go through the levels, we're going to make profits because we're moving further, much, much further than our first target. So, its habits are hard to change. I like to scalp one position multi contracts, but we should really be using 2 positions. We'll make more money. So I'll change my scalping up a little bit next week to represent that properly and to teach it better because people are doing the same thing that I'm doing. And what I simply mean is on that magnet, what would have been smarter was to add position 2 and make target 2 plus 10 or 20. And then you make an extra 10 or 20 ticks with that extra contract. The YM magnet can go away. The MNQ breakout can go away. That was a nice winner. Now I traded 5 contracts. So I am curious about the fees for MBT. So what is MBT? Future CME Micro Bitcoin. This is what it did on the open on a 1-minute chart. The first move looks like it was up 50 ticks. So probably would have gotten filled long, depending what we would have used as a bracket. Then it was a big sell-off, way more than double that, triple that at least. And then a big buy, a big buy. All right. The Bitcoin futures are what, $1.50 a tick, those micro Bitcoin futures? I think they're $1.50 a tick. Someone correct me. Someone correct me. I think it's close to that. And then TJ, you were asking about data. You didn't have data on BTC. So when I type BTC, it's the CME Bitcoin futures. We should have data on that. So I have data on it, TJ. What error are you getting? So what you want to do is send a message to brokerage. Well, what's the error? Probably you want to send an email. Send it through the help portal to Ninja. They've made so many changes. So many. You could chat with them, TJ. You could chat with them. Okay. They usually get back to you pretty quick because I have the data and I didn't do anything special to get it. All right. Now, YM on a 30-second chart, we would have had a fantastic signal on the aftershock reversal squeeze somewhere in this area. Somewhere in this area. What answer did they give you? That makes no sense. Tell them you're already subscribed to the data or that you believe you're subscribed to it. Maybe there's something to do with when you became a NinjaTrader customer, TJ. There's so many things they've changed recently. I couldn't even find the download file. I was trying to reinstall Ninja on another computer. It took me I had to ask for help to find a file to download. They've hidden everything. Your lifetime, yeah. I have never added any extra data, TJ, and I'm getting it. I am getting it. So some things doesn't make sense. You can see it right here. The data is fine. All right, everybody, I'll be back at 10 for natural gas. So I want to thank everyone on YouTube. Hit the like button. We'll get our chat working for next week. And we'll be streaming a bunch next week for sure. So thanks. Hit the like button and really appreciate it. See you next week on YouTube. The Bitcoin move Francis was talking about is quite big. In 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, between 4 and 5 minutes, you had a move of 238 ticks. Roz, that's good to know. I'm old fashioned. There's no reason to email their tech support anymore, I guess. Just chat. Do the chat. Makes more sense. All right, folks. All right, so I'll be back in about 15 minutes. I'm just going to heat up the coffee. Yeah, that's what I want to know, what the ticks are. I believe it's $1.50 on micro Bitcoin. Micro Bitcoin, I believe, is $1.50. Bitcoin is 150, I believe. Now that makes sense. Yeah, it's 150 on Bitcoin, and I believe it's $1.50 on the micro, on MBT. MBT. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is. So you have to have some pretty serious margin. That's a $7,000 move, yeah. On micro, or were you on bit on the full. You were on micro, right? Oh, you were on the full. So it was 238 times 150. I have $35,000 on that, Francis. That was $35,000. It was 238 ticks times 150 per tick. So that was a $35,000 move. If it's 150 a tick. I didn't know there's a dollar. Teach me about the ruler, a dollar setting. Where do you find that? Where do you find that dollar setting? I like that. That's an interesting. I how do you change that? Measure something first. Okay. Whoops. Okay. And then right click. Oh, it keeps erasing it. Move off it, I would think. Oh, come on. I'm not going to get the break I need. If I right click, it all disappears. See? Properties on the chart properties, Francis? Drawing tools? Drawing tools must have properties somewhere. You have to catch the right hand lower corner. Catch the right hand lower corner. So I finished my measurement. I thought I finished. Okay. Okay. Then right click. Then go to properties. Okay. Right click. Okay. Right click the measurement. Okay, let's assume I've done that. And then I'll try Roz's way. But I may have to go first. So I've right clicked my measurement. Look at the MNQ. It's just powering to the upside. Select the measurements so the little circles appear. Hey guys, I gotta do something first. This will be continued. I don't mean to be an idiot. This will be continued. I have to do something before the next trade room. I gotta heat my coffee up, have a drink, get the coffee. So I'll be back. We'll deal with this. I have to figure this out. It's just curiosity now. So forgive my stupidity. I'll be right back. I was just there, Francis. All right, I'll do it again when I come back. We'll be right back. I'll be right back. Give me a second.